according to the schedule, I have 2 minutes. So to keep on track, I'm fine to just say, well done. No, I think this is like my third or maybe fourth AASHTO. I was at the T&I committee, as most of you remember, for years, and I remember coming up last year and talking about the surface reauth and what expectations were, and I'm very glad not to have to be doing that this year, because I know that's a very heavy lift, and I'm just as interested in y'all as wondering what's going to be in that. I'm sure a lot of you know that we did kind of our own little kind of framework thing that's slowly working its way through government. Again, a lot of the stuff that we did, I think, is going to be aligned with what comes out of the Senate and the House. So fingers crossed they get that across the line. I mean, for us, it's going to be a busy year. I mean, for Surface Reauth 1, I mean, if they do hopefully get that done in September, we're going to have to look at how we implement that starting in fiscal year 27. So I don't want to really go back and talk a lot about what we did in 25. I know y'all are well aware, for the most part, about that. Really, I mean, it was just a lot of kind of aligning the department and the agency with what Secretary Duffy and Administrator Fink wanted, and the President as well. Obviously, we had some staff reductions. We did a lot with the Grant Review Task Force. I think there was maybe like 3,000 grants that were unobligated when we came in, some of them dating back to the first Trump administration. We worked hard with our team to get those out and get those obligated as soon as possible, and I know a lot of y'all worked with us and really appreciate that. Moving forward, we now are in the process of issuing our own grants. On Friday, our partnership program, $5 billion grant program, closed. It's my understanding, and I don't want to get Paul nervous, but I think we have almost maybe double the applications than we've had in the past, so I've heard, and we far exceeded the $5 billion. We were a little nervous about that, because, I mean, that's a lot of money. I think it's the most that's ever been given out by FRA, right? And so, but yeah, it was, the applications were great, and most importantly, and this is what we tried to stress to you all and to everybody, it includes grade crossing and grade improvements. That's something that is very, very important to Administrator Fink and us. We want to make sure that the crossings, block crossings and crossing accidents can be remediated as quickly as possible. I think every senator that he met with, the administrator, when he went through his confirmation, brought up blocked crossing issues. So we want to try to emphasize that as much as possible. I know a lot of y'all are also anxiously awaiting our Chrissy grant program, our NOFO, to go out. We are working that through the process. It should be coming out hopefully relatively soon. One thing we tried to do is we tried to streamline the application. I think now it's maybe less than 40 or 40 pages. Because I mean, we cater to Amtrak, but also the short line folk who, they're not they don't have, white shoe law firms that can crank out a complex application. So we want to try to make it as easy to digest as possible, and I think we kind of did that. Again, it's probably going to be a little bit north of $1 billion. Should be coming out soon. The one after that is going to be the Northeast Corridor grant program, which should be going out hopefully. Again, I don't want to, don't hold me to this, because it's amazing how much red tape there is in government. Even in our administration, which comes in to try to cut stuff, just gets stuck. But maybe spring or summer, hopefully we'll have that go out. We've got a lot of really, really good projects on the Northeast Corridor. I don't know if y'all have been following some of what we've been doing with trying to get Penn Station renovated, Washington Union Station, the BMP Tunnel, Susquehanna River Bridge. I mean, these are things that, I was on T&I for 5 years. I didn't know what the hell these were. I mean, the BNP Tunnel. But now we're going so deep into it to try to fix this stuff. And it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be expensive. And we're doing our due diligence. Lots of meetings, lots of struggle sessions, and trying to figure out how to be the best stewards of the taxpayer dollar, but also get these projects moving ASAP in line with the directive of the Secretary and the Administrator. And again, I know a lot of y'all have been kind of tuned into that and working with us on that. And certainly we'd like to get the NEC partnership grant out to support that, followed by the wildly popular grade crossing, hopefully towards the end of this year, Q3, Q4, grade crossing elimination. I know from my time on the Hill, that was one of the few extremely bipartisan grant programs that was created by the IIJA. We would really, really hope that the next surface reauth would have a lot more money going towards that. Again, grade crossing elimination, grade crossing safety is a huge, huge priority for us. In addition to that, and some of the stuff that our development team is doing, safety, obviously it's core to our mission. I think we have a record number of inspectors. We'd like to continue hiring. We never really stopped hiring inspectors despite some of the staff changes and reductions we made last year. We'd like to keep that going forward. I think we're maybe north of 350 right now, which again is an all-time high. We'd like to try to get 365, 370 by the end of the year. Deregulation, I know the person before, she talked about that a little bit. That is, again, the administrator likes to say when the president called him to offer him the job, he said, cut 95% of the regulations. We're not close, but we are working towards that. We had our deregulatory sprint last year where we cut 57, or we did 57 deregulatory actions. We've got a couple bigger ones coming up, and we got another deregulatory sprint that we hope to do maybe in the spring that we're working on. Again, some of these are not major things. Some of these aren't, as big as we'd like. But at the end of the day, they are meaningful, and they do hopefully make y'all's jobs, codifying existing waivers, things like that, a little bit easier. So we're going to continue to do that. Environmental streamlining, that's, the NEPA process. Seems every time I talk to folks, they just want to know when the money's going out and what we're doing with permitting. There's going to be a panel after me that's going to be a lot more expert on that with Paul and Marlis and her team. So I won't go too much into it, but we are actively working to try to get something out. We did our interim final rule last year. We'd like to go a little bit further, a little bit harder now this year with a notice of proposed rulemaking that we are trying to work to get out, hopefully by the end of the year or the end of the fiscal year. Again, we have to work with our friends at FTA and FHWA to get that out, revising the 771 program, if you all know what that is. Again, more categorical exclusions, looking at revamping the 106 process, which, the entire railroad system is historic, so that creates huge obstacles for us, bringing us to parity with our other modes, which have a little bit more advanced streamlining than we have. And again, we have a great general counsel, Greg Zirzon. He is fully committed, and his team of lawyers, to moving this forward. This is something when I was in the previous 45, I worked at CEQ, and we got the regulation across the line. So we don't want to just leave NEPA hanging, and I will defer to my expert colleagues to get into detail about that when I'm finished here in a couple minutes. I'm not going to talk for too long, but I would like to take questions. I feel like just talking at you has no value. If you want to hear something that we're doing. Again, talked about the grants, talked a little bit about Amtrak. In addition to trying to revamp a lot of the infrastructure on the Northeast Corridor, we're looking at doing a much kind of broader, bigger kind of Amtrak restructuring. I'm sure some of you have also kind of heard a little bit about that. Again, making it operate more efficiently and effectively, not doing anything that's cutting routes or cutting jobs or doing anything like that. But again, I feel like it's a long time coming. It's something that we can do without needing extra money or extra congressional approval from, which is great. And hopefully in the near future, you should be hearing more about some of what we're doing there. And hopefully y'all will be very supportive of that as well. Because it's a big deal, and it's something that, as we've kind of started to kind of talk about is very bipartisan. And usually the response is, what took you so long, or even, why aren't you going harder? You should go further. So finally, surface transportation reauth, again, we are anxiously waiting to see what happens in the House and Senate. Again, we have put together a little proposal of ours with things that we would like to see in it. Me and my colleague Kyle Fields, he came from Senate Commerce. I came from House Transportation Infrastructure. We talked to our colleagues a good bit and try to suss out what's going on. I can't speak for them, but it sounds like they are moving forward. I know my previous boss, Chairman Sam Graves, got his extension to be chairman of T&I for one more term, specifically for this reason. And so, they're firing on all cylinders. And, some of the suggestions we've had for grants, for Amtrak reforms, for everything from, consolidating key grants to, making it easier to, change a baby's diaper on a train, which, we struggled over on that for our thing. I mean, it's crazy how even the littlest stuff takes the longest. We'll hopefully make it in there. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the year ahead. It's going to be aggressive. We want to move quickly. We are, I think we're done. Last year, we did a lot of, I guess, killing. The California High-Speed Rail project, the maglev project from here to Baltimore, withdrawing money from Texas High-Speed Rail, and then the administrators, the secretary and the administrator are like, all right, what are we going to do? What are we going to build? Obviously, we are looking positively at the Brightline West project, which is moving forward. We have regular meetings with their team and Wes Edens and those folks. We're looking, again, the revamping of Amtrak, but we're open to ideas. We're not trying to kill rail. We want to grow it. We want to grow it with our Amtrak proposals. We want to grow it with what's going on in Brightline West. And we also want to support Brightline Florida as well. They've had a really good year. So, we're always open to trying to do big things. And, with FIFA coming and with the America 250, it's going to be a big year for the Northeast Corridor. As most of you know, Europeans kind of tend to look down on us when it comes to passenger rail, and maybe rightly so. With, hopefully millions of people coming in for the soccer stuff this summer, we don't want to embarrass ourselves. So we got the new Acellas. Our deputy secretary and our administrator were over at Union Station yesterday for the Aero unveilings, which went really, really well. That's very exciting. So we want to continue to grow in that respect. So anyway, I talked more than I figured I would, really. There's a lot of stuff going on. All right. I think that's it, right?
That's it, Drew.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.